Hi, this is Tim from UK Home Gym, your home for UK specific independent home gym tips and advice. And I don't know about you, but every time I turn on the TV, listen to the radio, look at a newspaper, everything seems to be about economic news nowadays. And it all seems to be very bad economic news. And it's sort of suggesting that we're all going to be paying a lot more money in the future, and that maybe inflation is going up and all of that kind of stuff. And I think that a question for a lot of people looking at news like that is how to save money. And I'm here to tell you about 5 ways that a home gym can help you do just that. Um, so the first of these ways is basically keeping you away from commercial gym memberships. Now, commercial gym memberships are something of a black box. They're sort of like a mystery box, maybe. Um, you can join a gym, and the prices can be set out for you there. But remember that they can go up at any time. They often do. They often, you don't really know when they're going to go up. And by how much in most cases. So it's sort of like, if you're committed to going to a gym and you think that that's a way that you're going to stay fit, you're sort of committing to pay, X amount of money, an amount of money that will go up, but by how much every year or every couple of years or whenever they go up, you're committing yourself, you're locking yourself into that, and you're saying my fitness depends on me being able to afford that. And if I can no longer afford, to go to a commercial gym, then, what's the alternative? Not going to a commercial gym, not doing any, resistance training at all. That shouldn't be something, it shouldn't be a question for you. So if you are sort of looking for sort of to avoid hidden costs, then having a home gym means that once you've paid for it, it's there. You don't really have any maintenance costs or, potentially rising costs in the future to worry about. The second way you can save money with a home gym is, it's kind of surprising. It does it does function in a way as a store of value. Now, I've said on this channel before that I don't think that the UK has a very good second-hand home gym equipment market. In fact, I'd go so far as to say it's quite mediocre. I don't think you can find much, good value on there. But, in terms of a store of value, I think that, it works both ways, right? So if you're a buyer and you're sort of looking for things on the secondhand market here, as I say, I don't think that in many cases you'll find deals that are a lot better than buying brand new. Of course, there will be exceptions to that, but, when I take a look on the, Facebook Marketplace or eBay or whatever, I'm seeing prices that are, only marginally less than buying something brand new, with the added hassle of having to go and pick it up or pay postage. Whereas, a lot of the people that will sell it to you brand new will bring it to your doorstep. But, as I said, that works both ways. If you are looking to sell, a piece of gym equipment, you no longer need it, or, you want to, you need to raise money for one reason or another, um, you know, the prices that you'll get for it are pretty decent. You're only looking at a few, maybe 10, 20% sometimes off its price as a brand new item. And even then, with a bit of wear and tear on it, um, as I say, it's not something that you can use to your advantage when building a home gym. But if you were selling items from your home gym, you certainly could use that to your advantage. The third way you can save money with a home gym is maybe kind of the evil twin of the second point, and that is by going quite low budget, by going minimalist in the first place, and trying to look at cutting down your overheads when you're buying your home gym equipment. So I think if you wanted a really scaled down home gym, but you wanted it to be as practical as possible and offer you as much variety as possible, I would go with something like loadable dumbbell handles, weight plates, probably metal but coated in rubber, something like that. They're usually the cheapest option, and they don't rust. And maybe a bench, like an adjustable bench. You can get some decent ones for a lower budget, and a pull-up bar of some sort, and you can probably get all of that stuff. Uh, Maybe £100, maybe £200, and then you'll need to keep adding weight plates to that to be able to sort of make it work for you. You won't then be able to do, the compound lifts in the same way. It's not ideal, but you can still do things like Romanian deadlifts with dumbbells. You can still do like goblet squats and stuff like that. There is still, you can do the dumbbell bench press. You can do a seated sort of dumbbell press. It's not ideal. You're not going, you'll probably max it out, but for a reasonable level of fitness, or a reasonable level of muscle building, you can do this, and you can certainly maintain any kind of fitness that you have, and certainly maintain any muscle that you have using that kind of setup. The next way to save money with a home gym is avoid transport fees and avoid petrol costs. All of these things, they're all going up. Bus fares in my area have gone up, train fares have gone up. Petrol, I'm sure that goes up all the time. Or certainly there's a threat of it going up. You never know how much it's going to be. Um, Parking costs and stuff like that. All of these things you have to factor into when you're going to a home gym, when you're going to a commercial gym. Sorry. Um, unless it's just near your house, unless you can walk there, unless you can cycle there or whatever. Um, you know, all of these things need to be factored in. If you're taking a bus to go there, if you're taking a train to go there, whatever, again, it sort of like comes back to point number one. You don't know how much you're going to be paying for that in the future, and you don't want to have to keep, increasing the amount of money you spend on fitness every single year or every single few months whenever prices go up. And the final point I want to talk about today is that having a home gym really saves you a lot of time, and time equals money. I mean, think about all the time that you spend commuting, getting to the gym, putting all your stuff in a locker, getting out, maybe waiting for someone to get off the squat rack or whatever, waiting for another piece of equipment or a machine or something like that. That's all time that you'll never get back, and you could have spent that time earning money, depending on what kind of line of business you're in. It does all add up. And if you look at that, if you put it all together and say, well, it takes me 30 minutes to get to the gym, it takes me, another 10 minutes to get changed or whatever, you add that up, and that's time that you could have spent earning money, sorting out a new business project or something like that. Um, you look at it over the course of a year, and it is a lot of time. And in the modern world, we are quite time poor, and by increasing the amount of time that we have available to us, maybe we could use that to help us improve our financial situations. Anyway, those are the 5 ways that I think, the 5 most pertinent ways that home gyms do help you save money. I wonder what you think about this. Please let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Please like, share, and subscribe. That really helps me to grow the channel. Please do check out our website. That's ukhomegym.com. And I'll see you next time on UK Home Gym.